What's cracking, everybody? You're back with Mr. Berger, and tonight we're going to take a look at the top meta deck right now. So this is currently the most powerful deck in the meta, at least, you know, as claimed by a number of pros, and backed up by statistics. Check out my hair here, I look like Albert Einstein or something. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to this here. So this deck is absolutely loved by Ash, aka Clash with Ash, aka CWA Mobile Gaming, aka Tim, so on and so forth. My point is, this is my kind of go-to guru for these decks, and he's done a few videos on it, and he says this is his current favorite deck. Now this deck has proven to do well on ladder if you have the card levels, but I'm playing it at tournament level standard and some classic challenges because I don't have all the cards leveled up too much. Especially because you got the Hunter in there, so that's something that I definitely want to talk about. So this deck was played in CRL, I believe it was in CRL China, but I guess it was kind of founded by this guy Faust, or Faust, am I saying it right? Probably Faust. I want to say like Dr. Faustus. Anyway, he is, or was, #2 in the world for a while, at least a few days ago. I haven't checked recently, so I don't know where he's at now, but when I was doing the research on this deck, that is where he was at. And so that proves that he can do well on ladder as well. So, you know, I guess you could say it was founded by him in a way, because he was kind of one of the first people to start streaming it, one of the first pros to start streaming it and playing it a lot, and it's worked out really well for him ever since. But it's definitely caught on, or been caught on to, by a lot of people. A lot of people are running it and playing it right now. There's this one, and then now there's a really popular Rascals Graveyard deck that's caught on as well. And I don't have the card levels, or the Rascals, to do that one, unfortunately. So I really have had a lot of fun with this deck. So let's talk about some strategies, you know, run through some replays here, talk about, you know, do's and don'ts, and then of course I'm going to show a loss at the end here because I want to make sure to show some examples of where I went wrong and how I could have done things better. So if I haven't mentioned this enough yet, this is currently a top meta deck, alright? So that's the main thing that I want to, you know, reiterate, I guess, you know, and focus on and enunciate here, is that this is, you know, a really powerful deck in the current meta. So that means that it might change when we get a new set of balance changes, which, you know, could be not too far away, could be relatively soon, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that being said, again, it's still good right now. Try it out. It's really great. Now, there's a number of reasons that it's really great. Let's talk about those reasons and, you know, some basic strategies on how to play this deck. So it has multiple win conditions, first of all. So you got the Three Musketeers. That always stands out to me as a win condition. And of course, you notice you also have the Hog Rider. Now on top of that, in a way, I wouldn't consider the Hunter a win condition, but the Royal Ghost can definitely connect to a tower and win you a game. Now, speaking of that Rascals Graveyard deck, this is actually a match where I beat that Rascals Graveyard deck, but, you know, maybe it wasn't the best player, or I could have gotten lucky, or who knows what happened. And it was relatively early on in a classic challenge, so it's not like it was, you know, some crazy 12-run grand challenge win or anything like that. So anyway, we got a few win conditions, as I mentioned. You got the Three Musketeers, you got the Hog, and you, in a way, have a pseudo-win condition with the Royal Ghost. Now you have a couple of sleeper cards, as they are called by some. And again, Ash did a number of videos, or a video on this rather, you know, the top 7 like sleeper cards that he has in the current meta. And 2 of those cards are in this deck, and I think that I would agree with those 2, because they're kind of underplayed, but still very powerful if played correctly. And that is, or those are, the Hunter and the Royal Ghost. Now again, card levels come into mind here, because the Royal Ghost is still a relatively new legendary. You might not have unlocked him yet. And the Hunter is still a pretty new epic, and because it's an epic, a lot of people don't have enough cards to get him up even to tournament standard level yet. But if you do have those cards, if you have the Royal Ghost unlocked and you got the Hunter up to level 4, you can definitely rock this deck in classic or grand challenges or tournaments, so on or so forth. So anyway, let's talk about those cards. The Royal Ghost is really cool. One thing that I didn't quite realize until I started playing him more is that he's actually invisible as soon as you plop him down, so there's no like delay time with his invisibility. So as soon as you place him down, he's invisible, so he won't be targeted by any opposing units. And it's really cool for a number of reasons. I mean, he's the only unit in the game that can destroy fire or ice spirits before they leap onto him, if unless of course they're placed right next to them and they're destroyed within their deploy time, but that's a different situation. If they're all running at each other, the Fire Ice Spirit is running at your unit, the Royal Ghost is the only unit that you can use to destroy them before it gets to your units. So that gives him a huge potential benefit when you're going up against like cycle decks, things that are running Ice Spirits. You don't see a lot of Fire Spirits, but occasionally you will, and you'll also see them in Furnace decks. I guess in the way a Bandit could probably charge and maybe kill a Fire Spirit, but then the other ones would probably leap on her too. Alright, so anyway, the Hunter. The Hunter is amazing. He does so much burst damage, and I've actually done a number of videos already on the Hunter, some Hunter minor poison decks, and they're pretty cool. I talk more about the Hunter in those videos, so if you haven't checked those out yet already, make sure to check those out for some more Hunter tips. Just go to my channel. I'll try to link one in the card or something like that. Anyway, the Hunter is really great. He absolutely wrecks tanks. You can shoot him or place him at point blank range, and he just blows up giants and golems and lava hounds, and he targets air. So he's also an air killing unit. So when we talk about card replacements in a bit here, keep in mind the Hunter does target air, so you may want to replace him with something that also can target air. What else do we have in here? Well, we do have the Three Musketeers, we've got the Fireball, and in a way the Ice Golem, but that's about it. So you do kind of want an air targeting troop. And on top of that, he is also just kind of like a really solid support troop. He has decent DPS even from afar. And in a way, he can also clear out weak swarms if he shoots from afar. If you don't place him at point blank range, his bullet spread, splits a little bit more. And then he's able to clear out, skeleton armies and things like that pretty well. And minion hordes too, surprisingly well. So, enough about those two cards. There is an element of spell bait with the Hunter and the Three Musketeers. So ideally you want to like cycle your Hunter in the back as an opener. And once you see them waste their spell, their poison or their fireball or their rocket or their lightning, then that's when you want to use your Three Musketeers. And you don't have a pump in this deck. This is a Three Musketeers deck without a pump, without minion horde. So your only element of like fireball or spell bait is with the Hunter. So you gotta get that Hunter out there, and then you gotta get that fireball baited out by them, and then, or from them, yeah, to you. Bait out their fireball, and then you want to place your Three Musketeers. And of course, it goes without saying, split your Three Musketeers generally in the back. If you know they have a fireball or something in hand, and you're afraid that you're gonna hit your tower, for whatever reason you decide you're gonna use it when you know they have fireball in hand, you can always place them in the center above your king tower a little bit to avoid your princess towers getting hit by the spells. Alright, so that's basically Three Musketeers in a nutshell. And then of course once your Three Musketeers get to the bridge, you can place that hog in front of them, in front of generally the the lane that has only one musketeer, just because they're more likely to support or defend against the Two Musketeers. That's a terrible example there, because I just replaced him in the right lane where Two Musketeers were. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back here to overall strategies. You have two standard spells. You got your Fireball as your medium spell, and then you got your Log as your light spell. You could consider saving the Three Musketeers for double elixir time and just use that as like a late game win condition, kind of like a surprise pocket card. And of course, you can always place your Three Musketeers in the pocket. Once you got one tower down, that's a huge strategy for winning a game, is you place them all the way up in the corner pocket on your opponent's side of the arena, and generally they'll take out the tower or do like 1,000 or more damage to it before your opponent even has time to react, unless of course they preemptively counter it and they know that you're going to do that. Alright, really quickly for card replacements, you could replace the Hunter with another Fireball bait troop, maybe like a tank killer, like I guess a support troop would work out like a Musketeer, but I'd go with like a minion horde, maybe like a mini P.E.K.K.A, but that doesn't target air. Keep in mind Hunter targets air. So what about for the skeletons? Probably another cycle card, bats, goblins. I guess you don't have Ice Spirit in here, so you could do Ice Spirit if you like that. Ice Golem, I would go with another mini tank like the Knight, maybe even the Valkyrie if you want to get heavy. But I think that the Ice Golem is really solid in this deck because you already got the Royal Ghost for that AoE. Another thing the Royal Ghost does, splash damage. Alright, Fireball or Log, of course you can replace them with, Poison or Rocket and then Zap for Log. And let's get into another replay here really quickly. And then for the Royal Ghost, maybe you could replace him with another mini tank like the Knight. Maybe even like the Bandit. You could go a little bit heavier and go like mini P.E.K.K.A or Lumberjack. But Royal Ghost is pretty staple in this deck. This deck has some really interesting and unique synergies with, you know, the unique cards. You got the Royal Ghost, you got the Three Musketeers, you got the Hunter, so on and so forth. For the Three Musketeers or the Hog, that would really change the archetype, so I wouldn't recommend replacing those. If you were going to replace them, then replace them with another win condition, maybe Battle Ram or something for the Hog, and I don't know what you would do for the Three Musketeers. That would really change the deck, so I wouldn't recommend swapping those out. So this particular replay is the one that I lose in, so let's see where I went wrong. That was a pretty good play there. What I did there is I distracted the Dark Prince in the back with the Ice Golem, but I was too late to react to that Giant. And I do get the Three Musketeers down, but look at that absolutely terrible placement. I placed them right in the center there, and since they're all shooting the one Giant, he has time to react and fireball them and arrow them to finish them off. And that's what, 4, 5, 6, 7 elixir for him versus my 9. So it's only a positive elixir trade of 2, but that's still really solid, and he absolutely wrecks my Three Musketeers. So that was my first mistake there. Let's see what I do next. He's actually bleeding elixir, so I kind of catch up at this point. So the elixir trade plays out a little bit. Now I cycle Hunter in the back. I don't know what spell he has yet. Looks like he's running the Giant Double Prince deck. And even though it was nerfed because of the Dark Prince nerf, still a really solid deck. Look at that Hunter's DPS, dude, or the shot damage, rather. It's really crazy. Luckily, the Royal Ghost there absorbs the Prince's shot just before he connects to the Hunter, but he just melts through both of them, and then I have to use the Ice Golem to defend against the Prince. So even though the Dark Prince got nerfed, man, that Prince, that regular Prince, is still really solid. Still really powerful. Alright, Giant here. Look at the damage from the Hunter. Now, that wasn't point-blank range. That second one was, though. It takes out like a quarter of his health when it's shot at point-blank range at the same level. A level 4 versus a level 7. Level 4 Epic, of course, versus a level 7 there. So, Hunter has really solid DPS. Now, that was a really bad fireball. I think I was trying to make sure that the Royal Ghost had his path clear and also got some chip damage on the tower and get the Mega Minion. So maybe it wasn't too bad, but I think it was kind of a bit of a waste there. Now, I kite the the Prince away with the Ice Golem, and I placed the Hunter there to try to take him out, but I accidentally placed the Hunter too close to try to get that maximum amount of damage, which is a detriment to me, or, you know, kind of bad for me, because unfortunately, you know, the Prince retargeted him. Now I used the Log Fireball to take out his support there, and then I used the Hunter to try to blow up the Giant, and it looks like that Hunter actually isn't within close range as he could have been. If you notice, there was like 2 bullets going off to each side, which means that was a loss of damage, basically. Those 2 bullets should have all hit the Giant, and it would have done more damage. I go for a Hail Mary here with the Musketeers at the bridge, and I actually get a little bit of damage off here, but it's just not enough to win me the match. So there was a number of things that I could have done wrong there, or could have done right there, that I did do wrong there. But that was basically, you know, my example of a loss. Because, hey, we all lose some matches. I lose a ton. So, hey, if you lose, don't get tilted. Put down the game. Take a break.
That's what he tells me.
Get a drink of water, or what's the official Clash Royale drink? Is it Mountain Dew or something like that? Alright, anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, make sure to leave me a like. Every time that you like and comment, it really helps my channel grow a lot. Helps my videos pop up on recommended views and all that cool stuff. So leave a comment below if you have any suggestions, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. You can hit the little Berger down there in the bottom right of the screen. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a good night.